2900 BCE. First cities in Mesopotamia. Around 2900 BCE, with the start of the early dynastic period, Mesopotamia became the stage for an unprecedented transformation, marking the transition from scattered agricultural communities to sophisticated urban centers. This era witnessed the rise of cities like Uruk, and Eridu, each a testament to human ingenuity and the desire to create organized societies. As we delve into the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, we uncover the forces that spurred this monumental shift, the innovations that made it possible, and the profound impact it had on the course of human history. Before the emergence of cities, Mesopotamia was a tapestry of fertile lands, nurtured by the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This land, known as the cradle of civilization, provided the perfect conditions for the birth of agriculture, around 10,000 BCE. As farming techniques evolved, communities grew, setting the stage for a revolution that would change the world. The region's geography, flat plains and river valleys, facilitated not only agriculture but also the communication and exchange between settlements. However, these early communities faced challenges, such as seasonal flooding, which threatened their crops and livelihoods. In response, they developed irrigation systems, a technological leap that allowed them to control the flow of water, ensuring stable crop yields and the surplus necessary for population growth. As these agricultural communities prospered, they began to specialize. Craftsmanship, trade, and the need for administrative oversight became increasingly complex, necessitating more structured forms of social organization. The accumulation of wealth and resources, coupled with the development of trade networks with distant lands, paved the way for the concentration of power and the emergence of leadership roles. This backdrop of agricultural success, technological innovation, and social complexity laid the foundational stones for urbanization. The need to manage resources, defend territories, and coordinate large-scale projects led to the clustering of populations and the birth of the first cities. Mesopotamia, with its rich soils and strategic location, was ripe for this transformation, ushering in the early dynastic period, a time when humanity would make one of its greatest leaps, from village to city. As Mesopotamian societies thrived, several key catalysts propelled the transition from scattered communities to the formation of the first cities. This period, around 2900 BCE, was marked by a confluence of economic, social, and environmental factors that spurred urbanization. Firstly, the agricultural surpluses generated by advanced irrigation techniques enabled population growth and specialization. People could now focus on occupations beyond farming, such as craftsmanship, trade, and administration. This diversification of labor was instrumental in developing complex societies that required centralized planning and governance. Trade emerged as a powerful engine of urbanization. Mesopotamia's strategic position facilitated commerce with neighboring regions, bringing wealth and exotic goods into the burgeoning urban centers. Trade necessitated the development of writing for record-keeping and contracts, further accelerating the shift towards urban life. Moreover, the constant threat of flooding and the need to defend territories against rival communities led to the construction of defensive walls and water management systems. These large-scale projects required coordinated efforts that were best managed within the framework of a city. Religious practices also played a vital role. Temples became focal points of Mesopotamian cities, serving not only as places of worship but also as centers for economic and administrative activities. The construction of monumental religious structures solidified the city's importance and unity. Together, these catalysts forged a new societal model in Mesopotamia. The rise of cities represented a fundamental change in human organization, laying the groundwork for the development of states and the complex tapestry of human civilization. The first cities, such as Uruk, Eridu, and Lagash heralded the beginning of the early dynastic period, a time of profound transformation that would lay the foundations for urban life as we understand it today. Uruk, perhaps the most iconic of these early cities, exemplified the characteristics that defined urbanization in Mesopotamia. It was a bustling metropolis, home to tens of thousands of inhabitants, and featured architectural marvels like the massive ziggurat dedicated to the sky god Anu. The city's layout was deliberate and complex, with residential areas, workshops, public buildings, and temples organized within its imposing walls. This level of urban planning demonstrated an advanced understanding of both architecture and social organization. The cities were characterized by their economic specialization, with districts devoted to different crafts and industries. Pottery, metallurgy, textile production, and trade were central to urban life, facilitating both local sustenance and international commerce. The standardization of weights and measures, along with the development of writing, primarily cuneiform, were crucial innovations for managing the economy and administration. Religion played a central role in the early cities, with temples serving as both spiritual and economic hubs. The priesthood wielded significant power, overseeing rituals, trade, and the redistribution of food and goods. This intertwining of the sacred and the secular was a hallmark of Mesopotamian urban society. The rise of these first cities was a watershed moment for humanity, marking a shift from predominantly rural, agricultural societies to complex, stratified urban centers. The innovations and societal structures that emerged from early dynastic Mesopotamia would influence the development of cities and civilizations for millennia to come. Economically, the cities catalyzed the growth of trade networks that spanned across the ancient world. The ability to produce surplus goods facilitated not only local trade but also long-distance exchanges, connecting Mesopotamia with distant lands such as the Indus Valley, Egypt, and the Anatolian Plateau. This interconnectedness fostered a sharing of ideas, technologies, and cultural practices, enriching societies and spurring further innovations. Socially, the urbanization process led to the stratification of society, with distinct social classes emerging, from rulers and priests to craftsmen and laborers. This stratification reflected the complexity of urban life, where specialized roles and professions were necessary for the city's functioning. The development of law codes, such as the Code of Ur-Nammu, underscored the need for formal rules and regulations in these densely populated settlements. Culturally, the cities of Mesopotamia were hotbeds of intellectual and artistic activity. Writing, literature, mathematics, and astronomy flourished, driven by the administrative needs of the cities and the intellectual curiosity of their inhabitants. Monumental architecture, like ziggurats and temples, not only served religious purposes but also stood as symbols of communal identity and pride. The impact of Mesopotamia's first cities extended far beyond their immediate geographic boundaries, influencing the development of urban centers around the world. They laid the groundwork for future empires and civilizations, demonstrating the enduring power and potential of urbanization. The dawn of the first cities in Mesopotamia around 2900 BCE marked a pivotal chapter in the story of humanity, signaling the emergence of complex societies and the birth of civilization as we know it. These urban centers, with their innovative architectures, burgeoning economies, and rich cultural tapestries, were the forerunners of the modern cities that dot our planet today. The legacy of Mesopotamia's early urbanization is profound, influencing countless aspects of human development from governance and law to art and science. As we reflect on these ancient metropolises, we're reminded of the enduring human impulse to congregate, create, and innovate. The rise of the first cities in Mesopotamia is not merely a historical event but a testament to the transformative power of urbanization and its continuing impact on the evolution of human societies.